Avi, are you ready? Shrikant, anchor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just...
Actually, unmute to anchor.
Good morning to one and all present. I'm Avi Agarwal. I'm a second year student from the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Babu Banasi Das Institute of Technology and Management, Lucknow. It is my privilege today to welcome you all in this inauguration ceremony of IEEE BBDITM Power and Energy Society, Signal Processing Society, and Computer Society chapters. First of all, I express my gratitude towards our Honorable Director, BBD ITM Lucknow, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, Student Branch Counselor, Professor Rafiq Ahmed, Advisor IEEE BBD ITM, Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, and IEEE BBD ITM WI Affinity Group Counselor, Professor Kanika Lamba, for giving us opportunities and room to maneuver ourselves in various fields. Encouragement, enthusiasm, and excellency are the major aspects of the organization. With an object of encouraging the spirit of research and innovation, BBD ITM feels proud to host this event. Thank you for joining us today. Participants are requested to keep their microphones and videos off during the program. Our branch has organized over 71 events, including Region 10 programs, beginning from March 2020 till date, and competitions on various topics, including webinar on advanced signal processing technique, IEEE Student Member Development Program, and many more. On behalf of IEEE BBD Item Branch, I express gratitude towards everyone who has been supporting us and attending the programs. Here is a short glimpse of various events organized by our IEEE branch right from its inception. Most humbly, now, I invite our Honorable Director, BBD ITM Lucknow, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, for the welcome address.
Thank you, anchor of the program, Mr. Avik Agarwal. I, on behalf of our chairperson, Srimati Alka Das of BBD Group, and President BBD Group, Mr. Viraj Sagar Das, and all other stakeholders of the BBD Educational Group, welcome our chief guest of the day, Mr. John D. MacDonald, who is a highly decorated professor and who has been decorated with so many awards and accolades all across the globe. He is a IEEE Life Fellow members. Sir, it is an honor to have you at this forum to really inspire the whole branch. We really consider it a privilege that despite your hectic schedule and the odd hours at which you have consented to be address our students members at this time, an odd hour of the day in US. I'm sure it will be a moment of inspiration to all those who are attending these functions. And I also welcome our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Madhusudan Singh, sir, who is also a very distinguished professor from South Korea. And I also welcome our other guest of honor, who is Professor J. Ramkumar, sir from IIT Kanpur, and other guest of honor, Ritula Thakur, ma'am, who is also a very distinguished professor. So these decorated professors, I'm sure, while addressing the student branch, it will definitely be a moment of pride, and it will really help them to know the reasons why they should associate with IEEE. I, in particular, thank, as cited by the anchor of this program, Mr. Avi Agarwal, just a couple of minutes back, that our branch in last couple of months have organized number of events which were very meaningful, in total 71. So in that context, I feel indebted towards the chairman of this IEEE UP section, which has been doing incredibly well in last 1 year, and prior to that also, because he has been at the helm of affairs for quite some time. So, Professor Ashish Kumar Singh from MNIT Allahabad. And I also, in particular, welcome Professor Satish Kumar Singh, sir, who is a mentor of this branch and has been rock support throughout, ensuring that the best of the functions are involved. And it is to the credit of our counselor, branch counselor, Professor Rafiq Ahmad, and Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, who has been consistently supporting the students, motivating them to really keep their flag high, and of course benefit the students through the networking and help them in terms of development of their skill set. It is really a momentous event for BBD ITM, and I, on behalf of all the stakeholders, including alumni, students, and all the faculty members, HODs of different departments, acknowledge this events that the inaugural of different society, namely Power Engineering Society, Computational Intelligence Society, Computer Society, and Signal Processing Society. This will definitely help students to have an interactions with the persons from the industry, in particularly IEEE senior members and IEEE other members, and definitely help them to fulfill the purpose with which this largest organization of the technical field in the whole world, that is IEEE, has been set up for, that is technology for humanity. So what can be better than to have Professor John B. McDonald here to really bless us at this moment in the inaugural moment itself. So I congratulate all organizing committee for having organized this program so well, and with such an inspirational and luminary figures and academicians who have led from the front in their organizations, whether it is ISC Bangalore, KVS, Professor KVS Hari sir, who is also a very known person in the field of electronics engineering, and he has also helped India in many ways through IEEE and through his own specializations in his field. So it's really, I offer a deep sense of gratitude all the guests of honors, and particularly the chief guest, for having spared their valuable time, realizing the purpose with which this branch has been moving ahead to help the humanity with the help of the technology. And I'm sure these young boys and girls, including the first year students who have recently joined as a member, I call upon all the rest of the first year students also to really understand IEEE through these address, and understand how it can help their career, how it can help them as an engineer to really contribute significantly in the whole world. Thank you very much. Over to the anchor.
Thank you so much, sir, for the welcome address. Moving on to the next part of the session, we have some short presentation by our own students. I request the chairs of all the societies to come forward for the introduction.
Good morning, everyone. This is Maruthandan Tripathi, Chair of IEEE BBDITM Power and Energy Society. It is a great moment for me to speak before you all in the inaugural session. I am thankful to my respected All Institute Committee of IEEE BBDITM Student Branch to give me such responsibility on my shoulders. My Power, Energy and Society Executive Committee member are Suryansh Gupta as a Vice Chair, Mudit Rana as a Secretary, Avi Agrawal as a Treasurer, Avril Das Srivastava as a Webmaster, Akriti Kuswaha as a Joint Secretary. It's our prime concern to take this society to its great height. The mission of IEEE Power and Energy Society is to be the leading provider of scientific and engineering informations on electric power and energy field for the betterment of society and perform professional development source of its mentor. And vision, it is the spread awareness about the renewable energy sources so that it lead to clean energy running world, as well as providing member of society with all its benefit. Power Energy Society offer world-class conference publication on every significant subject in the power and energy field, and offer to variety of educational opportunities. We will take word hard for the forward motions and noise of the student member in the field of power and energy society. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Shambhavi. I have been appointed as the IEEE BBDITM Signal Processing Society chairperson. Our ExCom has Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui sir as the society advisor, Shreya Rai as the vice chair, Syed Mohammad Kazim Abdi as secretary, Ankit Parihar as the treasurer, Neha Yadav as a webmaster, and Nawaz Ahmed as the joint secretary. The Signal Processing Society is an international organization whose purpose is to advance and disseminate state-of-the-art scientific information and resources, educate the signal processing community, and provide a venue for people to interact and exchange ideas. We are a very small part under this huge umbrella, but we will make sure that we stick to this very motto and work diligently to create awareness and provide a platform for the development of students. Our aim is to reach a significant height professionally as students in Signal Processing Society. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Divakar Tripathi, Chair IEEE BBDITM Computer Society. It is a great opportunity for me to give this IEEE BBDITM Computer Society Chair address. My ExCom is Professor Rafiq Ahmed, Computer Society Advisor and Counselor, Jainal Kishore, Vice Chair, Sasank Kumar is the Master, Mahek Singh is Treasurer, and Brijesh Yadav is Secretary. Mission and vision of IEEE BBDITM Computer Society is today, if we look around ourselves, we can see that technology has taken over in each dimension. Our food, travel, money, and other important things are all controlled digitally, and along with all this, the need of high security is triggered. Therefore, Computer Society aims to provide that platform that will help us to make students aware of the pros and cons of technology, and also to provide them the right way to use technology for the welfare of oneself and the world's benefit. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the presentation. Now, with great pleasure, I would like to introduce our first guest of honor, Dr. J. Ramkumar. Dr. Ramkumar is currently a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Design program at IIT Kanpur. He has earned his doctorate in mechanical engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. His research concentrated on micro and nano machining and finishing. He has also worked on tribology, coatings, and corrosion for both engineering and biomedical applications. He pursued his postdoctoral research in the area of intermetallic composites machining and fabrication at Osaka University, Japan. He is recipient of several fellowships such as Young Engineer Award of ISAC, India, and Gopal Das Bhandari Best Teacher Award by IIT Kanpur, recently honored with Eminent Engineer Award from IEEE India and Young Alumni Achiever Award from NIT Trichy, and many more. He has published over 200 articles in the peer-reviewed international journals and has delivered over 80 lectures in the international conferences. His age index of 23, which endorses his high research productivity. His 5 patents are commercialized, total number of patents in his name being 69. He has procured a funding of over $4 million during his career at IIT Kanpur. Currently, he is the project investigator of the MedTech facility being developed in IIT Kanpur. He is a reviewer of over 25 technical journals. Now, I invite the Honorable Speaker, Dr. J. Ramkumar, to share his thoughts on how IEEE societies are constructive for students and the engineering fraternity. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction about me. And I would like to thank the director, principal, director, and then the faculty convener for giving an opportunity and setting the platform very high. So it is really a great Herculean task all of you have done in organizing such a big event, in coordinating so many people across the globe. So I would request you to allow me to share my slides. Is it possible? Can you allow me, the organizer, please?
Yes, sir, you can proceed with your slides.
Okay, so first objective is welcome to all the volunteers who have joined IEEE in the student branch. So the future of the world is going to be you. Now there is a lot of challenges for you. The solutions which were all working in the past, is no more going to be the solutions of the future. Now, if that is the case, so how are we going to gear up ourselves? So what is going to be constant for all of us is going to be change. And this change, when we are all technology driven people, and we are all inventing IEEE is the largest professional body across the globe, wherein which we connect practicing engineer, experts in the area, the new entry students, all of them join together in one platform. And we all have to understand this world. The only thing which is constant is change. Every day, new technologies come in. Every day, new things are getting changed. The old technologies are getting changed. I still remember a scooter which my father bought, which was with us for almost for 25 years. And today, nobody is there to drive a scooter. The cycle which I bought 10 years back, my son who is who is now in 10th standard, he does not want to use the same cycle. A cycle which was bought 3 years before, my son does not want to use it. I'm trying to say my son because he's the next generation. And in the same way, phones are kept on changing. And now what is important is we have to accustom ourselves to change. And when we talk about change, change is something which is must, and innovation is one thing which gets into the face. IEEE has so many platforms. Apart from all these platforms, they also have one platform which is for innovation. And today I will be focusing only towards social innovation. Social innovation is the buzzword. And in IEEE, we have an exclusive vertical which is called as site. Okay, I will talk about site in my presentation. Okay, so everybody knows this gentleman. This gentleman says innovation makes the distinction between a leader and a follower. Every individual member, every individual student, you are all leaders. You have leadership quality. If you have a raw leadership quality, IEEE is a platform which gives you to hone your leadership quality. You have to be innovative such that you are more you have to be a leader, you have to be an innovator. Okay, what is innovation? Innovation is something trying to make a solution using cut and paste technology across different streams, but giving a solution to the customer who needs it and the customer is ready to buy it. Sitting in your office developing a solution does not mean it is an innovative solution. And you students are exposed to so many things today. You are all brilliant, you're all vibrant. You have so much of skills with you, wherein which each one of you can become a wonderful innovator. If you want to become an innovator, you don't have to have the skill of academic excellence, but you have to have a skill of problem solving. You have to identify a problem. You have to identify a problem, solve a problem. And a customer should be happy to accept this problem. This problem can be for anybody. This problem can be for everybody. India is such a big country with a huge young age people. Young India. You have so many citizens below the age of 21 and 25. Young India. This young India has to solve so many problems which are around us. India is one country, east or west, north or south. Every 150 kilometers to 200 kilometers, you have a new language, new culture, new food habits, new technology, new practices. So you as youngsters should look forward for problems. And you identify problems. And IEEE gives you a platform to connect with people, connect with technology, update you with latest ones. When you listen to expert lecture, you know the latest technology, but how do you tweak this technology to a needy people near you? Your brother might need a technology. Your father might need a technology. Let me tell you a simple thing which happened yesterday in front of my eyes. In our campus, there was a gardener. He was trying to do work. The gardener left his younger daughter, 4 years old, in the garden, and his elder son, who is 7 years old, in the garden. And this gentleman went to close the hose pipe in a little far off distance. So by the time he walked to the hose pipe, which is 500 meters away to him, the son, elder one, 7 years old, operated a grass cutting machine. The young fellow, out of curiosity, operated the machine. There was this young sister or a daughter who was 4 years old in front of him. The machine started getting operated. This machine moved and it just chopped away all the 4 fingers of this young daughter. Young girl lost her 4 fingers. Now you see, this girl has a huge innings to play. She has a life to play. Now this girl was only pleading. She lost her fingers. Can there be a technology which could integrate 4 fingers to her, give her just an aid for writing? Here in which we need to understand how to integrate technology to this. Rapid prototyping is very much there. We talk about 5G technology. We talk about sensors. We talk about EEG. We talk about many things. But when it comes for integration, we need youngsters like you. So when you as a youngster customize a technological solution to a customer, you are an innovator. Turning an idea into a solution that adds value to the customer's perspective is an innovator. Every one of you have this talent. Every one of you have this talent. All you have to do is polish yourself and show it to the world. So most innovative companies across the globe are: Apple is an innovative company. Amazon is an innovative company. Amazon was only doing some sales. It was doing window shopping. It was doing online shopping. And today you see Amazon has established their own brand. Today Amazon is into digital technology of movie, video. Amazon Prime. Did you ever imagine? So they look forward for problems. They look forward for solutions and keep moving. So there are several innovative companies. Tesla is one. Tesla was initially working on identifying some of the electric parameters. Then they started working on batteries, and today they work on electric cars. The electric cars is an innovative technology. They have reduced the number of parts from 10,000 parts to 2,000 parts. If the number of moving parts are reduced, the efficiency is very high. The weight of the vehicle has gone down drastically. It is an innovative thing. These are some of the innovative companies. The company Philips, which was trying to produce bulbs, is now producing the Avent electric breast pumps. They looked at a problem, they looked at a market, then they start developing solutions, and here are some of the solutions. Okay. So when you have to be an innovator, you should have these 3 things. There has to be a desirability, there has to be a feasibility, there has to be a viability. Some innovation means someone who wants it, someone who can make it, and someone who should do it. So this is where you guys are there. It does not depend upon your academic excellence. It depends upon the skill of problem solving. Okay, there is a big difference between invention and innovation. This is a cycle where there are 2 wheels. An invention was made. The same thing, when a customer has to use it, you tweak it into a product which everybody accepts. So this is the difference. Okay, so these are some of the well-known innovators who are there. Since we are pressed with time, I'm skipping through fast. So these are some of the characteristics you should understand you as an innovator should have. You should have a creator. You should be resilient. That means to say you might fail, but run. You might have reflectivity. Reflectivity means there might be critical comments about it. Look at it, correct yourself. You do an empathy study, understand the customer. See, when these 4 fingers were lost, when the 4 fingers were, everybody in the crowd was only shouting and bouncing and beating the brother, saying that he messed up the younger daughter's wife. But you should understand the brother did not do it intentionally. The daughter did not keep her hand intentionally. So now you should live a life closing your 4 fingers, trying to solve day-to-day problem. You will understand the plight of your 4 fingers. So until and unless you do the empathy study, you will not be able to visualize what is the pain they undergo. Then you have to have a problem solving skill. You have to be a risk taker. You should be a team builder and a team worker. IEEE Students Branch gives you all these things, gives all the possibility provision for you to enhance your skills in innovation. Okay, there are several innovations. There is something called as incremental innovation, something called as radical innovation, something called as disruptive innovation, and something called as generative innovation. So I was focused towards social innovation because you might think, why is so much social innovation is different, social innovation is different. India is a country where there are humpty number of problems. So for that, we need social innovators. Social innovators are those people who try to connect with common man, try to develop solutions which can hit at up people with low cost and sell multiple, for which you should use a design thinking approach. So design thinking approach involves this 5 steps. Empathy study, which I said, understand the problem, define the problem. Defining the problem is the biggest challenge. In academia, you have been defined a problem and you start giving solutions. So defining the problem is very important. Develop several ideas, develop prototypes, test it, improvise it. If you do it repetitively for 5 times, you are an innovator. The product which comes out is an innovative product. Social innovation, I will just read the definition for social innovation. Social innovation are innovations that are social in both their ends and their means. It represents new responses to pressing social demands, which affects the process of social interactions. They are innovations that are not only good for society, but also enhance individual capacity to act. So I will show you some of the social innovation. Linux software is a social innovation. Wikipedia is a social innovation. The climate group is a social innovation. Free Bird Club is a social innovation. People above age 50 only can be a part of this, and they can find out when they travel some help. This is a social innovation. In India, Shaksha is a social innovation in which it's like Ola and Uber, the complete cab service will be done by girls or ladies. This is a social innovation. Jayashree Industry is a social innovation where they are trying to make economical sanitary napkins for women folks. Ayush is a thing which is trying to be which is a social innovation. Identified the need. For 100 rupees, they give a baby kit which is used immediately after delivery. The tools which are used for delivery and after delivery, and they give it for 100 rupees. They have identified the need. It is a social innovation. Water is one thing which where 10 million people across 12 states are already part of it. Their only aim is to give safe water and sanitation. This is a very good concept. If you have time, look at it. So what I'm trying to say is all of you can become social innovators. Okay. So the social challenges and barriers: make place resilient and open to change, enhance happiness and well-being, nurture and protect environment, common assumptions, lack of clear policies, and lack of knowledge in social innovation is the biggest barrier for us. So you can do social innovation and gain financially, gain your reputation, gain your customers, and make a change for innovation. So let me show you in IEEE, we have an exclusive one which is called a SITE, which is a special interest group for humanitarian technology. This SITE is basically understand a common man's need, develop a product. It should be a technology or a product which can be used, and later this should be able to sustain, and through which you can also be an innovator. IEEE gives you a platform to practice it. So I would request you all to dig and then find out SITE, and you can form a small group, start working on a social problem in and around your college, and try to develop it. And later you can come out with a product which you can sell. So SITE is one thing which is there. Several outputs of sites have been installing installing RFID and Wi-Fi on a motorboat for a fisherman, doing on a vending cart, fisherman vending cart they used to have. So these are some of the businesses which projects develop, and later it became business. So these are Nicaragua, which is there in North Atlantic area. They were tried. deep sea fishing Madras site group they developed, and later it became a company. And in IIT Kanpur, we are also working on developing two things. We have a lab which is called as Imagineering Lab. We have a lab which is also called as MedTech Lab. We are trying to work on social innovators. We are trying to help people who have an idea in developing medical devices for invasive technology. For example, using Wi-Fi to measure the ear, audiometric test, vision test, all these things we are trying to do. We have already joined hands with IEEE UP section in doing it. So I would request you all to look into these websites and try to reform yourself as a social innovation. So we have a tie-up also. So based on this tie-up, we are able to develop things. We are able to promote social innovative skills for people. Okay, so thank you very much for giving an opportunity. The real world of social innovation is to fix our broken human system. So with that, thank you very much. And my gist of talk was only push yourself towards social innovation. There is a big gamut open for it. IEEE site gives you a platform to convert your idea, understand a social need, develop a product, here in which IEEE sponsors this such products from $500 to $5,000. JSS Academy recently got it during COVID. So you can also apply and develop it, through which you know your capability, you develop products, and you can give it back to the society. With that few words, I wish the student branch a grand success. Thank the management for giving an opportunity to open it. Thank the management for linking the rest of the IEEE family with BBDU family of student community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable information. It will definitely help us in future. So next we have Dr. Satish Kumar Singh with us. Dr. Satish is with Indian Institute of Information Technology, Allahabad, as an associate professor. He is having about 15 plus years of academic and research experience in various capacities. He is a senior member of IEEE Signal Processing Society, IEEE Computational Intelligence Society, IEEE Educational Society, IEEE Photonics Society, IEEE Biometric Council, IEEE Sensor Council, and IEEE Systems Council. Presently, he is serving as the Vice Chair of OOS of IEEE India Council and Vice Chair of IEEE Uttar Pradesh Section. Dr. Singh is also the Secretary of IEEE Signal Processing Society, Chapter of Uttar Pradesh Section. On a very special note, I would like to thank him and mention about his support which he has shown for our branch till date. Sir, you may proceed now.
So, thank you very much. So first of all, I am very thankful to the organizers for conducting such a wonderful activity at BBDNITM, Lucknow. So I formally welcome Professor John McDonald, Professor KVS Hari, Professor Ram Kumar, Professor Ashish Singh ji, Dr. Ritula Thakur, Dr. Madhusudan Singh, and all guests and my dear friends, students, and other faculty colleagues. I formally welcome from IEEE Uttar Pradesh section. And it is nice getting the presence of you all here in this inaugural activity. At the same time, we are having some wonderful discussions. We are having the lectures. For example, Professor J. Ram Kumar ji highlighted about the social innovation. So I like to add one thing about Professor J. Ram Kumar. He is our past leader. He was the chair of IEEE Uttar Pradesh section before 2 years. And during his leadership, UP section has grown like anything. In terms of membership, we have grown from very small section in 2009 to the last section in 2020. In terms of activity, we conducted large number of activity. And this year, in 2020, we are, you, along with I, means everybody. Means IEEE Uttar Pradesh section is the topmost section among 59 sections at R10 level, Asia Pacific level, on the basis of various quality activities. So we have conducted large number of activities. So we have not conducted only for the sake of conducting the activity. Actually, IEEE Uttar Pradesh section is
I guess we have some network issue.
Yes, Abhinav, you can continue.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I would like to invite Dr. Madhusudan Singh. Professor Madhusudan Singh is an assistant professor in School of Technology Studies of Endicott College of International Studies at Wusong University, Daejeon, South Korea. Before joining the university, he worked as a senior engineer in the Next Generation Research and Development Department at Samsung Display, Yongin City from March 2012 to April 2016, and research professor in YICT, Yonsei University, South Korea. Dr. Singh received his bachelor's and master's degree in computer application in the State Technical University and Master of Technology degree in IT from IIT Allahabad. He received his PhD in the Department of Ubiquitous IT from Dongsu University, Busan, South Korea. He is a senior member of IEEE and a member of many societies such as ACM, IEEE Blockchain, IEEE Transportation, etc. Now, I pass the center stage to Dr. Singh to guide us on how the IEEE Computer Society will be helpful for our students and faculty members and how we can attain great heights of success using it. Thank you.
Thank you, dear anchors, and thank you very much for the organizing this nice event with Dr. P.K. Chauhan, Director of the BBDITM, and Professor Mohiuddin. And also there's a guest of honor. Welcome to all guest of honors, Professor John MacDonald, Chief Guest, and Professor KVS Hari, Professor J. Ramkumar. He's really giving a very nice talk about the social innovations, and Professor Satish Kumar, Professor Ritula, and Chair of the IEEE UP section, Professor Ashish Kumar Singh. Thank you very much, and welcome to all our listeners. And can I share my screen? Can you allow me to?
Yes, sir, you can share your screen.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give some brief introduction about the IEEE Computer Society, and then later on I will discuss about what type of research I'm doing currently and what type of scope of those research has. So that, as we know, I know that the IEEE Computer Society, that BBDITM, that is student branch, they have a lot of information about this computer society actions and other things. So, but I'm giving just brief introductions about the IEEE Computer Society. So the IEEE Computer Society is the world's home of the computer science, engineering, technology, known as the organizations that empowers the people who drive the technology, and the IEEE Computer Society brings the forward thinking technologies. So the vision of the Computer Society is to be leading provider of the technical information, community services, and personalized services to the world's computing professionals. So as we know that, like nowadays, everyone talking about the computer, software, AI, artificial intelligence, but these all things are providing in the connectivity, integration between the different fields. So now computer science we can be used to each and every fields like mechanical, electrical, engineering, and other fields also. So IEEE Computer Societies provide the global reach is 60,000 plus members, 480 chapters, 168 countries they are there, and technical breadth is the 200 conferences every year they're organizing, and 600,000 trusted technical documents they are providing to digital libraries of the IEEE Computer Society, 30 plus top cited protocols, and 121 active standards. So computer society, the main aim is to provide the publication, the research. The publications means the research has the IEEE society, computer society has the 13 of the top cited magazines, computer science, computer engineering and technology, and transaction 19 peer-reviewed transactions, and the IEEE Computer Society's conference proceeding cutting edge the papers presented the conference as globally. So IEEE Computer Society has a digital libraries. They use the powerful search, users-friendly interface, 13 magazines, 19 transaction, 5,000 conferences. So is included the student membership. Others pay on the additional 130 to unlimited things. So it's just advertisement of the Computer Society. It has the sponsorship offer to more than 200 technical conferences per year, cutting edge research, peer reviewed, backend to the technical committees, and is publisher about the like CPS, VIS, and SC 18. These are the top conferences they can be organizing by the Computer Society and is sponsored. They are providing some certificates and credential programs, associate certifications. These are some certificates things. So I'm not going to detail of those things. So just giving these certificates course can be taken by the students, and they will get their more expertise in their particular field, like securities and some professional developers, master certificates of software developer, these type of things. And IEEE Computer Society on demand training, they are providing to demand training also, like IEEE library, desktop libraries, business libraries. So these things is provided by everyone, for the students too, for the professionals, IT in the industry, and the professors too. And this is the important for the students. The IEEE Computer Society, they're providing the student scholarship, $40,000 per plus available each year. That is a Richard E. Marvin Student Ambassador. They're providing the 36 students per year, 1,000 scholarship awarded. And this is the mostly deadline is the September, April and September, 2 times. And it's designed to recognize and reward active student volunteers, leaders in the student branches and student branch chapters. So Lance Stafford Larson paper contest, they are providing a $500 scholarship award. That deadline is mostly in October. And also they are providing Upsilon Pies, Upsilon the Honor Society for the four students for the 1,000 scholarship award. That is deadline is October 31st. So these are the some information about the students, and they are also making the distinguished visitor programs. So they are a distinguished speaker. So initiated to the 1971 by the Dr. Stephen Rao, and provide the professional and student chapters, top technology leaders and innovators from every sector of the computing industry. And new speakers and new topics are added the ongoing basis of the what type of research is going. So today's speaker is like me, the Professor Madhusudan Singh. So I'm going to discuss about my research. So my basic research currently I'm working on the self-driving car, and that is the as everyone know that I'm working in Korea. So in Korean government, they are organized, they are providing the one whole city for that they establish the complete city. There we can use our self-driving car, testing our self-driving car, and they are providing the all intelligent transportation systems things. So what I'm doing things there, like currently everyone like Tesla and Google and so Waymo, those are working for developing the self-driving car. They will use to AI, like reinforcement learning, and they are constructing, making the autonomous vehicle. They will vehicles by controlled by the computers and things. So but they are still lack of their security issues. So my main research work, I'm providing the security for those applications like self-driving car, like Tesla and those type of things. So what is my research? So this is the current time, our scenario, and going on like we are only dependent on the traffic signals. Based on traffic signals, sometimes it's going to be happen the accident. They are not control the vehicles, and they can get the lot accidents and lot of harmful things we can happen especially in India. We can find out that this type of things going on occasionally. So we are providing the seamless transportation, blockchain enabled seamless transportation for the self-driving car. So here we are using our blockchain server, where all the vehicles are communicated with those blockchain server, and they control their speeds according to the what speed is coming in the front of other vehicles. And those information is stored on the blockchain server with the help of ID, the unique ID. And we are also providing to so, intelligent vehicle trust point to each vehicle, where each vehicle can be uh, as any vehicle has the maximum trust point IVTP, that vehicle is the most trusted in that network, that particular network. And based on those vehicles, they can be use that trust point to different application. For like, for example, they can use in the insurance purpose. Like currently what we are doing, we are pay whole money of the year money, even though we are not driving the all time, but we need to pay whole insurance for the year. So with the based on this intelligent trust point, we can be provide to insurance company that data, that how much vehicle we are driving, and how much what is the condition of our vehicles, like what is my speed and those other things. And based on that, we are insured our vehicle, and we are just paid for the some particular things. So that is the one example of the application. And this similar can be, we can use in the services for the petrol pump, for the other services. So these blockchain enabled, we had did that this patent, that Korean patent is already granted for this our applications, and we are tested as a simulation till now. And currently we are practicing for the self-driving car in our that self-driving environment, that city, as I discussed before that. So we are already testing those things. So that is our first one things. And second, our project, our research is going on to the healthcare, for the blockchain enabled healthcare. So I just want to share this video. So in here, we in this our research, we are providing develop one device. That device can be just put in our stomachs, and they can be find out the how much gas and what is the gastorian issues, without going to, like, if we go to doctors, they will use for the endoscopy and those type of things. So this applications, this our device will be provide to reduce those endoscopy and those harmful or some bad experiences, to remove those things. So for this, we are using to for the old peoples. And like, for example, in here we are put the step our devices, and they will use to signals EEG signal, signals, that is the electrogastrogram signals, and measured through the connect with the Bluetooth to be stored on the blockchain without going to hospital, without going to doctors. We can send our data to doctor with the mobile phone, and doctor can be give the instruction and give that the medicines prescribed through the phone. So don't need, like nowadays as a pandemic situations, look, people avoid to travel, going to hospital and those things. So that type of applications can be devices will be helpful for the old peoples, very useful for them. So that is the our another project, and we are working to another one, that is the that is for the agriculture situation. So as we know that currently a lot of issues is going, so we have proposed that is also applied. This all three applications is already applied in the granted for the Korean government as a patent. So this one we are providing to the known chain, we call that agriculture product. So that will be make the whole supply chain management from the beginning, from the farming to consumer, who developing from those peoples from the farmers to the consumers. How can we use through the blockchain technology, and we can distribute to all, control all these agriculture's product details. So I just play that video. So in this technology, we use a hyperledger based blockchain technology and QR code that utilize use of the 5G network. But in future, when we 5G network to become a 6G network and other networks, so in Wi-Fi network, we can also use these applications. So each data in the supply chain is stored, and farmers cultivate the agriculture product to receiving. So what we did that we put the sensors in the farm, and for example, like this, these are the sensors, and through the sensors we get the information about to the that land, what type of farmer need and what type of product he can be grow well in that that land, with the help of the sensors analysis, the help of the data analysis that we reach with the we get it from the sensors. So on time to time, it will get also when the land require the fertilizers and pesticides, water. This all based on the data analysis, that data with collect from the sensors, provide to the blockchain server, and then we analyze, the farmers can be analyze those data, or they can use to we develop the app, that app applications, so where they just put the data and he will get that, okay, this is required for, like farmer required for the fertilizer and pesticide for their land, their farming, so he do that things. With the app, he can collect, and then after the app, he will get the, when product is ready, that product going to verify with the government, he provide that how much pesticide and how much data, how much type of chemical they use in to develop that that product, and based on that he get the some advisors from the government. They will provide to the some rank that what level is the this data, this crop is
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, actually, it is a very wonderful topic, and you are giving a very nice presentation. But sir, we are exceeding to a time, so
Okay, it just
that's
is
why
last.
I'm reminding you. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
that is
Thank you,
just
sir.
only last one. So this one they will use for the retailers and buy co-ops, and later on the consumers will be receive the food, and it will be make that to the ranking, made to the grading, and based on that grade, the farmers can be get it the some more benefit from the bank and from the government to the subsidy for their next product consumers things. So this is our three topics I'm working on currently, and but as you find it that this blockchain technology for the common in the all research. So my main motto is to talking about this applications to currently, as I heard that last 2 days before, Indian government, they are blocked the cryptocurrencies, they ban for the cryptocurrencies, but they were provided to the blockchain can be used in the different multiple applications. So my motto is that we don't go for the cryptocurrency, but we can develop, so we can use blockchain technology in any application, even though our in university, even though in a real time, even though in a society. For that, blockchain can be helpful to develop and make that our better societies. So that is my main talk about things. And next thing that main aim is like students, that you guys are young and they're finding to new things. So as I believe that in a one day, every day we are doing something new every day, but we don't recognize that this is the new thing. But once we are recognized, we can observe what we are doing, that can be matched with our field, research field, and those things. Then you find it that is the every day you are doing, or you are developing some new things. You are doing already new research every day. Everyone, not only for the students, is from me, from anyone, in a one day, as every day doing something like even though we are doing wearing the cloth side things, making some styles, some anything. So that is the something new, but we need to connect those things with our research and the positive way. Then you will find it the more research progress, and that is the all is based on your own observations things. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much for giving this opportunities to talk in that these things. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this my talk is done. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
anchor,
so
it
much,
is.
sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your intellectual words. Was great interacting with you. Good morning to all. I'm Kirti Agarwal, your second anchor of today's event. Proceeding further with the event, now I'll introduce our next speaker, Dr. Ritula Thakur. Dr. Ritula Thakur is an associate professor. She has completed her PhD and ME in Power System from Punjab University and her BTech degree in Electrical Engineering from Punjab Technical University. Dr. Ritula's field of research includes embedded system, power quality, sensing and instrumentation, PLC and SCADA, multivariant data analysis using the unscrambler software, electrical impedance spectroscopy, optical spectroscopy based food quality and safety analysis, robotics, modeling of drives using VISM software, and machine learning. Now, I humbly request Dr. Ritula Thakur to kindly share some of her knowledge about big data analysis and guide our participants about its implementation in the PCS society. Over to you, ma'am.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are very much audible. Please go ahead.
A very good morning to all of you. A very warm my greetings to Sir John M. MacDonald, Professor Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, Dr. J. Ram Kumar, Dr. Satish Kumar Singh, Dr. Madhusudan Singh, Dr. KVS Hari, Dr. Ashish Kumar Singh, Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, and all the other present in this program. And I congratulate the organizers at BBDITM for organizing this wonderful event, which I'm sure will motivate all the students and faculty as well at the same time. I was just listening to the talk of Dr. J. Ram Kumar. It was really motivating.
Ma'am, there is some sound problem.
Somebody muted me actually. Yeah, so I was just listening to Dr. J. Ram Kumar, and it was really motivating lecture when he told about the social innovative ideas, social innovation. So in the same context, I would like to tell you students that our Ministry of Education, which was formerly called as MHRD, they had recently launched one Toykathon idea. It was mainly for the students, in which they could give their ideas, they could present their innovative ideas, and government was ready to fund them for the startup. So in this context, I just wanted to inform you about that. Now coming back to my today's topic, it's on smart grid, because your Power and Engineering Society chapter is being inaugurated today. So when we talk about the power system today, it is facing many challenges. You see, our current power system, it started around 100 years back, when the things were not very complex. The things were very simple. It was all like there was a centralized generating station which had to meet the needs of a few houses or industries, let's say. But at the same time, as the time went on, things became more complex. So there are a lot of challenges which our present power system is facing. Dr. Madhusudan, he talked about self-driving cars, so which is again one of the smart technologies. And he also talked about healthcare, blockchain-based agriculture supply chain, in which the sensors can be used. So similarly, What I'm going to tell you today is how we can make use of smart grids. So when we're talking about the challenges of the current power system, why do we need to go towards smart grid? For that, first of all, we have to understand what is the meaning of this word smart. Whenever we say it's a smart car or we say it's a smart healthcare, smart agriculture system, smart grid, what is the meaning of this word smart? Let's say we say that a student is smart. Okay, that student is quite smart in the sense that he can take the decisions on his own. Okay, so if you tell him some problem, you don't need to give much inputs to him. He is able to take decisions on his own. Similarly, our current power system, when it will be able to take decision on its own, we will call it smart grid. But why do we need to go for that? You see, when I'm talking of the challenges being faced by the current power system, one of the main challenge is the increasing power demand, which we all know. Then there are many the centralized coal firing stations, power stations. They are getting retired in due course because of the non-availability of the coal and other non-renewable energy sources. So we have to go towards renewable energy sources. The integration of which into the main electricity grid again is a problem. Why? Because our centralized system, the conventional generating station, they had high inertia. Whereas when we are talking about the renewable energy sources, they have got low inertia. So the integration of this renewable energy sources with the conventional system again is a problem. Then more and more integration of the power electronic devices is causing the power quality problem. So what is the result of all these problems? The results are the blackouts. I am sure all of us remember that on 30th and 31st July on 2012, we faced the biggest blackout in the history of India. About 700 million people from 22 states were without electricity for 2 days. So such kind of situation can be avoided if our power system or our grid becomes smart. So that is where the need for the smart grid comes into picture. Now let us understand what is the difference between this smart grid and our conventional grid. You see, as I told you in the beginning, that our conventional power system, it was a centralized station so there was a one-way communication. It was just providing the power to the customer. So there was a one-way communication. There was a one-way flow of power from the centralized station to the receiving end. But when it's a two-way system, in the sense that now the consumers, they are not only the consumers, they are also feeding the power back to the grid. So that is where the two-way flow of the power takes place. So that is one of the biggest difference between the conventional grid and the smart grid. Now, the second difference is that initially or in our conventional system, it was also a one-way communication. The consumers, they were not communicating with the grid. They were just receiving the power. The bills were being generated, that's it. But when our grid becomes smart, then with the help of smart meters which are installed at the premises of the customers, there are smart sensors which are installed along the transmission line. Now the consumers, they are also able to communicate with the grid. Okay. And when we are making use of all this, and of course, our electric vehicles are also very much part of our smart grid. So now when all the system is becoming, we are integrating the smart sensors, we are integrating the smart meters. Then also we have for the monitoring part, earlier we used to have SCADA for the monitoring part. But in the smart grid, we are making use of wide area monitoring system. So what is happening? Of course, the system is becoming smart with the implementation of all these technologies, but at the same time, it is becoming complex as well because a lot of data is being generated. You see the smart sensors which are there, then the smart meters which are communicating back to the centralized control station. So a lot of data is being generated. So what now the question before our present power system engineers is what to do with this data. So that is where the role of big data analytics, it comes into picture. I'll not go into much detail of that because I'm sure our today's chief guest is going to throw a greater light on that. So I'm just giving you a brief idea about where the things are heading up to and what can be your role. Because you see, it's an interdisciplinary world today. We can't confine ourselves, okay, I'm an electrical engineer, what do I have to do with the blockchain? I'm a computer science engineer, what do I have to do with the power system? I'm an electronics engineer, electronics and communication engineer, what do I have to do with power system? No, now the word is, it's a one word. So in the same way, the technology is also an integrated technology. So when we are talking about big data analytics in power system or big data analytics in smart grid, the role of electrical engineers, the role of IT engineers, because when we're talking of big data analytics, when you have to analyze that data, the role of computer science engineers become into picture. Of course, when you are implementing smart sensors in and your smart meters in your smart grid, the role of electronics engineers, they come into picture. So now you may ask me a question that, okay, what can we do? What is the scope of us in this area? So because today we are talking about IEEE society and what all opportunities do we have to work in this. So let me just show you that in IEEE PES, that is Power and Engineering Society, they have a dedicated they have a dedicated page on they have a web page on IEEE Smart Grid. You can just go through that. I'll just share it with you, and you will get to know that what all is happening, what all opportunities they are there in front of you as students, as faculty. So is my screen visible to you? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can see what is the punchline in the page itself. IEEE, the expertise to make smart grid a reality. Okay, so there are a lot of events which are happening there, and you can become aware of these. You can participate in all these workshops, as you can see, and then there are forums. There are many webinars which are taking place. There is a dedicated newsletter in this, and many smart grid events which are coming up in future. So I'm really happy that today Power and Engineering Society is being inaugurated at BBDITM, and I hope it will open many new avenues for the students as well as the faculty to participate in and get themselves acquainted with the latest happenings in various areas. With these words, I once again thank you, and it was a great honor to be a great honor for me to be here and talking to you and among all eminent personalities who are present here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such knowledgeable insights. Now, with great honor, I'll introduce our upcoming speaker, Dr. KVS Hari. KVS Hari has been with the Department of ECE, Indian Institute of Science, since 1992, where he is currently a professor and coordinates the activities of Statistical Signal Processing Laboratory. He has been a visiting faculty at Stanford University and KTH Stockholm. His research interests include statistical signal processing, sparse signal processing, array signal processing, machine learning, with applications to MIMO wireless communication system, radar and navigation system, autonomous system assistive technologies for the elderly MRI system, and neuroscience. He is the editor-in-chief in electrical sciences of Sadhana and a fellow of IEEE and INAE. Mr. Hari has completed his PhD from the University of California, San Diego, his MTech degree from IIT Delhi, and his ME and his BE from Osmia University, Hyderabad. He is an expertise in signal processing, wireless communication, and neuroscience. Now I kindly request Mr. Hari, the torchbearer of India for Signal Processing Society, to share some of his knowledge with us on this platform. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I would like to first of all thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, especially the director of the institute, Babu Banarsi Das Institute of Technology and Management, and all the faculty members and the office bearers of the various chapters. I'm very happy to note that you have inaugurated multiple chapters, society chapters. And I think the previous speaker alluded to the interdisciplinary nature of our life. So I'm very happy that students from all these societies will work together in your student branch. So I'll quickly go through who we are in Signal Processing Society, and then maybe I'll not take too much time. I know we are behind schedule. SPS is the IEEE's first society, and we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary in 2023. It's the fourth largest society. We have about 18,000 members, and most members are centered in regions 8 and 10. We have more than 220 student branch chapters across the globe, and India has 59 SPS student chapters. So welcome to the family. And just wanted to highlight that in India, the ICASP conference, which is a flagship conference of signal processing, will be held for the first time in India in 2025. So hopefully by that time, everything will be back to normal, and we would like a lot of activity participants. And this is the first time it is coming to India, so I would like all of you to ensure that you participate. So this society basically has multiple functions. I mean, it does publications and it provides resources. So we have a signal processing magazine. We also have transactions, and we have a newsletter. We have something called a content gazette and an SPS resource center. So all SPS members can access recorded videos of tutorials at ICASP, which is a flagship conference, and other workshops. And we do also have blogs. The other main activity of the society is we organize conferences. As I said, a lot of conferences, workshops, seasonal schools, ICASP and ISIP, that is image processing and speech and signal processing, ICASP and ISIP are held every year, and these are our flagship conferences. And along with other societies, with EMBS, we do a conference on biomedical, and with the Computer Society, we do ICME. So these are conferences and events, and of course, we do have discounted attendance for SPS members. Now everything is virtual. For students, basically we hold student competitions. We have something called a signal processing cup, a video and image processing cup, and a 5-minute video clip contest where students can build and submit videos, which is then assessed by a jury. Now, these are very important things, and somehow we have not had enough participation from India in these cups. So I would strongly urge the faculty and students of your institute to look at this possibility where you can participate in these cups. And of course, we do hold job opportunities, discounts, travel grants to attend conferences. A lot of volunteer opportunities. We have more than 1,000+ volunteer leaders across societies and in this society for various activities, for technical activities, membership, publications, and so on and so forth. So as I said, there are 220+ chapters, and funding is available for these events. I'll quickly tell you some more information. Chapter activities, which could be both chapter and student chapters. You can have collaboration, you can have technical talks, you can have social events also. And then we have an app, which is an SPS app. So you can go to the mobile app store, and both on Android and iOS, you can download an app. It connects to the website, and you can get information. You can join, you can learn, you can connect. So you can use the SPS app. And the support for student branch chapters, they are eligible for $500 annually in normal times. For virtual events, if you want to conduct, then of course the funding will be less, but funding will be provided based on submitted. So you student branch chapters, if you have activities in signal processing, please do approach and see if you want to get some funding. Plus, there is an incentive for growth. If you want the chapter to grow, for every new member in the next year, you will receive $25 for each new student member of the SPS chapter, okay, up to maximum of $250. So this is another way to plan your growth of your chapter and also receive some financial incentive which will support your activities. You can also have organized local events, and again, as I said, events can be funded up to $5,000. Of course, it is less for virtual events, but you can get some funding. You can organize seasonal schools, workshops, forums, regional meetings, small conferences, along with the section, UP section and the UP signal processing chapter. So there are awards and recognitions for students and faculty. So Best PhD Dissertation Award is there, then Regional Distinguished Teacher Award. You have Young Author Best Paper Awards and so on and so forth. So what I'm basically trying to say is Signal Processing Society is one of the oldest societies of IEEE. It has a lot of activities, technical activities which benefit the membership. Remember, signal processing is in all spheres of life, right from all the devices you use. The very fact that I'm able to talk to you is because of signal processing. And of course, other technologies, but signal processing is everywhere. So we believe that sustained membership means we need to build a sustained relationship. So this is a long-term family you have joined. So I welcome all of you to this Signal Processing Society family, and we believe that we can work together. So any help you need in advice and getting events going, please do. You can feel free to contact me or any person on the Signal Processing in the Signal Processing Society. We also should tell you that we have the Signal Processing Society India chapter. We have a WhatsApp group where we coordinate various events and activities. So all the student branch chapters, as I told you, we are 59. Hopefully we will soon have one annual Indian student branch chapter meeting, virtual meeting soon, maybe by end of this month. And if you have any questions on how SPS can support you, we'll be very happy to share that. Thank you very much. I think the previous speakers have spoken a lot about the technologies. So in the interest of time, I will stop my presentation. And I wish all the volunteers who have made this possible, and I wish them all the best for the year's technical activities. And I hope all the society chapters will work together along with the student branch to ensure that the members get the benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those encouragements. Would help us a lot in future. Now we have Sir John D. McDonald with us. John D. McDonald, PE, is Smart Grid Business Development Leader for GE Grid Solution Business. Sir John has 46 years of experience in the electric utility transmission and distribution industry. Mr. John received his BSEE and MSEE degree from Purdue University and an MBA degree from the University of California, Berkeley. John is a life fellow of IEEE member for 49 years and was awarded the IEEE Millennium Medal, the IEEE Power and Energy Society Excellence in Power Distribution Engineering Award, the IEEE PES Substation Committee Distinguished Service Award, and the IEEE PES Meritorious Service Award. Sir John is past president of the IEEE PES, the VP for Technical Activities for the US National Committee, the past chair of the IEEE PES Substation Committee, and the IEEE Division 7 past director. John received the 2009 Outstanding Electrical and Computer Engineer Award from Purdue University. John has published 150 papers and articles, has
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You
Yes,
are.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Seems like there was an interruption. Should I go ahead and start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate this, John McDonald. I'm I'm in Atlanta, Georgia in the United States. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you. This is actually my 50th year of membership in IEEE. So I joined in 1971 in my second year at Purdue University. I want to say that you've all of you, especially the students, have made a good choice to get involved in IEEE. The three benefits that I've received in 50 years in IEEE is I've learned a lot more about the technology, and particularly the global issues with technology. For you, not just in India, but you want to learn what are the differences in technology worldwide, and you can do that with IEEE. Second is networking. I've expanded my network of key industry contacts through IEEE and traveling around the world. I have over 4.5 million miles on Delta Airlines, and much of that is with IEEE meetings and IEEE talks. So expand your network, because the people that you become friends with through IEEE will help you with your job, and they'll help you with career choices the rest of your career. And the third thing is leadership. Remember, IEEE is a volunteer organization. You don't have to be pre-qualified to have a position. It's up to you. We say the sky is the limit. Volunteer for leadership positions, okay? You should be the one making the decisions rather than having other people make the decisions, and then you have to live with someone else's decisions, okay? You want to be the one proactive. You don't want to be reactive, where you're just letting other people make your decisions for you. You volunteer to be the leader. I think what's very important with IEEE too is so many of the humanitarian projects that we're doing. In 2000, I was the IEEE Power and Energy Society president in 2006 and 7. In 2008, we changed the name of the society from Power Engineering to Power and Energy. So we changed the E in PES to energy. And the reason we did that was we wanted to emphasize that PES was helping society and helping the environment with energy. And since 2007, our growth in membership has been phenomenal. And we went from the third largest society in IEEE to the second largest now. Bypassed communications. We're bigger than communications and second only to computer society in size. So what's important is helping society, helping the environment. And then I represented IEEE just a year and a half ago in Africa, working with Zambia and Ghana and helping bring electricity to many of the people in Africa that did not have electricity. So I really enjoy helping the student branches. And one thing since COVID, since the pandemic about a year ago, I find many more student groups are doing virtual events. I've been doing virtual events for student groups in Kerala, in Chennai, and many other places in India. And take advantage of the pandemic really and plan a lot of virtual events. And what's nice is I can reach more people because you don't have to travel to go to the event. It's all virtual. You can be at home and participate. So, stay involved with IEEE, take leadership positions. And before I get into my slides, I want to finish with one thing. The IEEE Power and Energy Society asked me to give the keynote talk a couple of years ago to all the IEEE PES student members in the United States and Canada. That's regions 1 through 7, okay? And rather than giving a technical talk, I gave a talk called Key Insights to Career Management. I reviewed my 46-year career, and there were 12 decisions I made in my career that influenced and impacted the rest of my career. And I go through these decisions in about an hour in a fun way. I use a lot of family photos and IEEE photos and work photos, and I go through these 12 key things. The advantage of if you can spend the hour and go through this webinar I did is that you'll learn all this information early in your career when you're younger, and you can do a much better job of planning your career. I didn't learn these things until I stumbled upon them, right? As I was advancing in my career, later in my career, many of these. So this talk is in so much, it's so popular that the IEEE PS recorded it, and it's a 1-hour webinar for free on the IEEE PES Resource Center. I can, if you have problems finding it, I can send you the link. And I really encourage all of you, especially the students and young professionals, spend an hour, listen to what I had to say, listen to the 12 key things that will help you in your career. And I guarantee you'll have a head start on, other people that don't have this information, okay? So what I wanted to do, I'm going to share my screen, and I wanted to find a topic that would be of interest for power, not only power and energy, but signal processing and the computer society. Can you see my slides? Can you see those?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
it is
sir.
visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll put it in slideshow mode. Let's see. So it'll be bigger, okay? So this is an interesting topic. It's very much focused on data. We're at GE, we're hiring data scientists. Many of the customers we work with are hiring data scientists. Everything is much more driven by data today. And I want to go through data. I want to go through analytics. And what's really interesting is the use of drones, robots, and the Internet of Things, okay? But first, I want to encourage you, as I said, to volunteer for leadership positions. This is just a few of the leadership positions, key leadership positions I've had, whether it's IEEE on the board of directors, whether it's IEEE Power and Energy Society, whether it's IEEE Standards Association. And I just started a 3-year term on the IEEE Foundation as a director, okay? So again, the sky is the limit, okay? Don't hold yourself back. Volunteer. You have a lot of opportunities, okay? Now, you might recognize the fellow Kadim from 2015. This was when I was in Delhi at Indicon, and the general chair was Professor Minnie Thomas, a very, very dear friend of mine and my family, who was the IEEE Delhi section chair at the time and the general chair of Indicon, and hosted at her university, Jamia Millia Islami University in Delhi. 2015, she had me give a tutorial. I moderated a panel session and gave a number of talks. I also did poster session paper reviews for prizes. I was one of the judges that reviewed many of the research papers from many of the graduate students. Over 3 days, I remember doing that. This was a nice memory, a nice photo from 2015. Okay. This is what I mean about networking, right? with IEEE, you meet many people and have long-lasting friendships. Okay, so these are the topics I'm going to go over, and I'm going to highlight these. Now, we just finished a new book a couple of years ago called Big Data Application in Power Systems, published in 2018 by Elsevier. It's a paperback book, so it's not very expensive. And I wrote the first chapter of the book called A Holistic Approach to Becoming a Data-Driven Utility. Holistic meaning company-wide and having all your decisions being driven by data. Okay, so let me highlight some of these key points. The first speaker today talked about solutions and problem solving, and it's very important. When you're a student in school, they teach you in engineering school how to solve problems. When you get out into industry, what's very important is being a very good problem solver. You won't be solving the same problems that you solved at school, but what's important is knowing how to solve problems. What's very important today is holistic solutions. That's what we're transitioning to with what we call smart grid. We don't really use the term smart grid anymore. We use grid modernization. We're modernizing the grid. So a holistic solution is company-wide, holistic, but a solution is a set of technology components integrated together to successfully interoperate to meet the business needs of the customer. Okay, for power and energy society, many times it's an electric utility. What we teach students at university is don't just stop with the device. The device has two-way communications capability and can be a node in a bigger network. The holistic solution has much more value to the customer than the microprocessor-based device by itself. Okay, so we can take these microprocessor-based devices and build holistic solutions, and that's what the customer wants. So you have to teach yourself to see the big picture. Always look for the big picture. Okay, success is not just technology, but it's industry standards and policy. I spent a lot of time working in standards. That's why in the substations committee, I volunteered in 1987 to start writing the standards for substations. And within 1 year, I volunteered to be the working group chair. And then I became the subcommittee chair and then the chair of the entire committee. That's 500 experts around the world that write all the standards for substations. Okay. So writing standards and knowing standards is the key to success today, because technology has to interoperate. These devices have to be able to talk to each other and exchange information. We have to, with culture, we have to change the culture of people to allow technology to operate closed loop. Sometimes we have to take a human out of the loop and let the logic do its thing by itself, okay? And we're distributing the intelligence around the electric grid. It's not just in the control center anymore, but it's in the substation, and it's actually at the edge of the grid. Where homes have rooftop solar panels, we're putting grid edge controllers on the low voltage network outside your home, okay? Which we have to do because of the increased volatility, because of the intermittency of the sun, okay? We're also doing much more with microgrids. A microgrid is really cool. It's a small power system in itself that it typically has renewable generation and enough to meet the load, and it can island itself and still operate. So if the grid around it is having a problem, it can island or disconnect and still continue to operate. We're focused on big data today. We're putting more specialized sensors out in the field. Customers have an observability strategy, which means they're looking at what data am I getting back today from the field, and do I need additional sensors? Do I need more data? Do I need different types of data? Because everything is data driven. okay? Now, we're also developing new analytics to make better use of the data that we're getting. And we're focused not so much on user interface anymore, but the total user experience. Like we saw earlier in one of the talks, Steve Jobs from Apple, right? Steve Jobs said, I don't want people to just use my devices at Apple. I want them to have a positive experience. It's a total experience with Apple devices. And that's what we're geared with today, is a user experience with the technology. We also, what's very important for data management is the convergence of IT, the information technology part of the customer, and operations. Operations and IT have to be seamless for enterprise data management. An advanced distribution management system today is being implemented by many electric utilities to manage the increasing complexity of the distribution part of the grid. Why? Because we're integrating a lot of renewables. We're integrating a lot of sun, of solar and wind, and this is making the grid much more complex. Instead of electricity just flowing in one direction, it now flows in two directions, okay? But what's very key is the integration. See, on the implementation of an advanced distribution management system, 70% of the total project cost is the cost to integrate that system with all the other systems that the customer has. Integration is very key today. And one of the previous speakers talked a lot about smart grid, and I'm on the steering committee of the IEEE Smart Grid organization. The home of IEEE Smart Grid is in the Power and Energy Society, and we have 14 different IEEE societies all working together in IEEE Smart Grid. But what's very important, before we think about smart grid, we need to make sure we have a strong grid. It's very important. Strong grid before smart grid. The communications infrastructure and the IT infrastructure have to be strong before we start adding a lot of new things, new applications on the grid. If we add a new application and we have a weak communications infrastructure, the application may not work properly. We may not get the performance that we paid for, that we expect, because the underlying foundation is weak, okay? Remember that, strong grid before smart grid, okay? What's very important too is managing data and getting the most value from your data. I wrote an article in 2003 in IEEE Power and Energy magazine. This is the magazine for IEEE PES members. And I introduced these concepts to the industry in 2003. The concept of operational data and non-operational data. Operational data is the time series of data that we're used to sending to the control center at an electric utility. And that's what the operators use to monitor and control the power system, okay? You can see my dog in the background. My dog is with me all day as I work from home, and he keeps me company. So he's learned a lot about IEEE and about Power and Energy Society with me not traveling and being home every day. So operational data is very important. It's a time series of data that we use in the control center. What we haven't gotten the most benefit from is what we call the non-operational data. This is new information that we have now with microprocessor-based devices. When I was leading the revision of the IEEE standard on SCADA, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, in the early 1990s, we came up with a new term called Intelligent Electronic Device, or IED. That's a term we use for microprocessor-based devices. There's two parts to the definition. One is it has internal processing capability, and second is that it has two-way communications. And the two-way communications is what's very important, okay? So non-operational data is points or files, like a digitized waveform, a sequence events report, And this is information that the operators don't need in the control center, but there's 25 to 30 other groups in the customer organization that have a need for this data, okay? And this is the characteristics between operational and non-operational data. Non-operational is on demand, it's typically historical, and it's both points and a data file. Operational data is what we're used to for many, many years sending to the control center. So one of the things that all the societies in IEEE are working with now is the Internet of Things, the new productivity revolution. We're bringing together intelligent machines with big data and analytics and connecting it with people at work. And this is connecting people any place, any way, and any time for intelligent operations. And this is really, I mean, the near future here is that we'll have much more data, more readily available with new analytics so that we can have new value from the analytics and make more timely decisions. So this is going to save a tremendous amount of money. And what we're all working with now is no matter what society we're in IEEE is, how can we leverage this, right, to get the most benefit for our company or for who we work for or the project we're working on. And one of the things we're always looking at is new analytics. What are new areas of analytics where we can provide more value to the industry? With the electric grid, it's with smart meters, it's with outage, with reliability of the power system, with renewables, and with the end use customer. Okay, these are all areas that we're doing a lot more work in. And in signal processing, you could look at new areas of analytics, and in computer society. And we'll, you know, computer society is doing a lot of work with drones and robotic inspection devices that I'll talk about here in a minute. So I mentioned that what's important here is bringing together information technology and operations technology. We need to bring together the electrical and the information infrastructure so it's seamless. The reason is we have very valuable information from data sources on the operations side. And if we have a disconnect between these two groups, we won't be able to get this valuable information from the operations side, bring it across the firewalls over to the corporate side so that many groups, stakeholder groups, can access it, okay? So on the left side here is what we find in many organizations today. It's very siloed. Every individual group in the organization has its own systems, its own microprocessor-based devices, and its own databases or repositories. And we say it's siloed. Each group is really only concerned with doing well within the group, and they don't share information with each other. That's why I say we need holistic solutions. Holistic means no silos anymore. All the groups are working together, like I show on the right here. The IT infrastructure here with a federated data mart, and we're bringing together all the data sources in the enterprise, the systems, the microprocessor-based devices, the databases, so that the operators in the control center, the operational users, and the non-operational users, again, 25 to 30 other groups within the organization, all have the data that they need. So the end result is on the left here, we have standard architectures in the field. This is a standard architecture for an electric utility substation with a master data concentrator, slave data concentrators, and a number of microprocessor-based devices or intelligent electronic devices, say in the substation and out in the field. On the right here is what our goal is. In light blue or cyan, this color here are all the different data sources in the enterprise. And in green here is all the different users in the organization that now have the data they need. Well, how do we do this? Well, we first hold a workshop with the customer and bring everyone, all the stakeholder people up to the same level of understanding with enterprise data management. What is it that we're doing today that this organization needs to do? We look at the data maps of all the data sources, whether it be microprocessor-based devices, systems, databases, and we create standard data templates. Which data in each of these devices has value to at least one stakeholder group in the utility? Then we put together an enterprise data requirements matrix. We want to map the data points of value in these data sources to the stakeholder groups that will use the data. Then we make sure that the architectures that we're using, the substation automation architectures, will facilitate, they'll support extracting the data points of value, concentrating those, and then sending them across the firewall to what we call an enterprise data mart on the corporate network, okay? So I've been involved with standards work for many, many years with the electric grid, actually about 35 years, and on the board of directors of the IEEE Standards Association. In 2010, we developed this called Smart Grid Conceptual Reference Model of 7 domains and how those domains are interconnected together. I just helped, I was one of 11 smart grid experts chosen by the United States government in 2017, and we spent 2 years, and we just updated this conceptual reference model, which is public information on the website of NIST, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and you can find that on the website. But the most important thing, if you've ever done a project at a university or tried to develop a product with a vendor or at a customer, written a procurement spec to buy equipment, the question is, what standards are important? What industry standards? IEEE has identified over 100 standards with smart grid. The IEC has identified over 100 standards. Well, how do you know which standards to use? You can't go over hundreds of standards yourself. Well, these 16 standards are the most important standards for smart grid. We call these the foundational standards for smart grid. If you just concern yourself with these 16, that's all you need to do. So we spent a long time, 25 of us, and we looked through all these standards and we said we need to help the industry and narrow this down to a much smaller list for people to use. And that's what this is. This is the foundational standards for smart grid, okay? And what's nice is today, there's one worldwide standard for control center to control center communications. There's 2 worldwide standards for control center to field equipment, and really just 2 worldwide standards for communications with field equipment. So we've converged on much less standards, so it's much easier today to figure out what standards to use. Okay, well, let me finish with some new work here, which was really cool. It's on drones and robotic inspection devices. So these new sources of data provide us photography, imagery, we call LiDAR and photodar imagery, and infrared sensors. We can see hotspots in equipment. This data has a lot of value. We use it with asset management. We use it with geographic information systems. We use it with outage management systems. And we use it with storm damage assessment. So like a drone will capture a lot of video. And you know, we have to, you know, how do you go through that video and really figure out where the problems are? So what we've done is we've automated image analysis to create value. We used to, in the beginning, have humans watch hours of streaming video to find problems, but now we've done a good job of automating that image analysis. Now, I conducted a brief ad hoc survey, informal survey, and it showed me that a coordinated industry response to the emergence of unassisted aerial vehicles and robotics can speed time to value. So let me go back here. This device here is a robotic inspection device that typically a helicopter or an airplane needs to bring up on top of the transmission line and then drop it on top of the conductor. What we've done, what some utilities have done now, is to miniaturize some of these robotic inspection devices so we can connect them to a drone. We can fly the drone up to the top of the transmission conductor and have the drone release the robotic inspection device. Saves a tremendous amount of money because we don't need an airplane and we don't need a helicopter, okay? So my observations were the power utility use of these UAVs and robotics is really in its infancy, that they're an effective and efficient means to monitor the infrastructure health and perform remedial work. But how the raw and analyzed data is stored, routed, or otherwise made available across the utility organization is different for each utility. So I'll finish with some recommendations. We need to de-silo the utility. In other words, don't have each group do its own thing, but have data sharing. So de-silo the utility and its approach to data management. We need to achieve the organization-wide value creation and a positive business case for new technologies. And that makes the customer more nimble and competitive. They can make decisions more quickly, and because of that, they can be more competitive. Because things are in their infancy, just starting, now is a time to apply holistic data management thinking to how these UAVs and robotic inspection devices outputs are managed for value creation. The industry, we should determine and pursue common requirements for UAVs and robotic technologies and push the purveyors, the consultants, and the suppliers to comply with them. We need standard data formats, and this is why our standards groups are beginning to look at this. And in standard data analytics, based on open source architectures and true enterprise-wide integration of the information. We definitely want to avoid proprietary solutions. We don't want a customer getting locked into a proprietary way of doing things that limits their future options, and they also end up paying a lot more money than they should be paying. So this is very, very interesting. It's new. It's growing tremendously. Drones now in the United States, utilities can fly drones beyond line of sight. Okay, used to be limited to line of sight. Now, with special waivers, they can go beyond line of sight. So there's much more value now to what we're getting. And as we miniaturize more robots, instead of needing a helicopter and an airplane, we can use drones. So this is a lot of work being done here, but there's a lot more value here that we haven't even reached. You know, we're just starting with this. Okay, I'll stop there. I think yeah, we're about at the end time. I tried to go quickly because I got a late start, and I'm just very happy to be with you all. I really applaud what you're doing, especially with the 3 societies. As you can see, with my 50 years in IEEE, I love IEEE. I love my involvement. I'm 69 years old, but I'm not stopping. I'm not retiring. I'm having more fun today than I've ever had, particularly with IEEE. I hope you continue to be involved. I hope you volunteer for many leadership positions. I hope you expand your network as much as you can. I hope you do everything you can to learn as much about the technology as you can, and continue to volunteer for as many things as you can in IEEE, and continue to be involved. Okay, I say that I have 50 years. This is my 50th year. I don't know if I'll have another 50 years, but I know I'm going to have many more years in IEEE, and I look forward to that. So thank you very much again for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such a wonderful presentation with us. Ending with today's wonderful session with all the honorable speakers with us, now I request all the participants to put down their questions and doubts to our speakers to be answered.
So I'll pass it back to Kadeem.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Anchor, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Srikant. Actually, today we have 73rd anniversary of our honorable speaker. So our our immediate past chair, Mr. Srikant Singh, has made this video in the short time. So thank you, Srikant. So now, Anchor, it is over to you, please.
Okay, now I humbly invite Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, advisor IEEE BBD ITM Signal Processing Society, for a vote of thanks.
Am I audible, Anchor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Uh, okay, a very good afternoon, Honorable Chief Guest, Sir John D. MacDonald, IEEE Life Fellow, Smart Grid Business Development Leader, General Electric Grid Solutions, USA, Dr. KVS Hari, IEEE Fellow, Professor, ISC Bangalore, Dr. J. Ram Kumar, Professor, IIT Kanpur, Dr. Ashish Kumar Singh, Chairperson, IEEE UP Section, Professor, MNNIT Allahabad, Dr. Satish Kumar Singh, Vice Chair, IEEE UP Section, Professor, IIIT Allahabad, Dr. Ritula Thakur, Professor, NITTR Chandigarh, Dr. Madhusudan Singh, IEEE Senior Member, WSU South Korea, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, Director BBDITM Lucknow, Professor Rafiq Ahmad, HOD EE and EN, BBDITM Lucknow, Professor Kanika Lamba, Counselor Women in Engineering, BBDITM Lucknow, faculty participants, student participants, and volunteers. It's my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks on the behalf of BBDITM Lucknow, especially Mrs. Alka Das, Honorable Chairperson BBD Group, Mr. Viras Sagar Das, Honorable President BBD Group, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, Honorable Director BBDITM Lucknow, and all organizers on the event inauguration of IEEE BBDITM Power and Energy, Signal Processing, and Computer Societies. First of all, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Honorable Chief Guest, Sir John D. MacDonald, IEEE Life Fellow, Smart Grid Business Development Leader, General Electric Grid Solutions USA, who has accepted our invitation gladly and always ready to share his enormous knowledge on power and energy. Honorable Sir, your gracious presence has motivated us a lot, and always we take inspiration from you to do betterment for humanity with the use of advanced technologies. Honorable Sir, your great experience and exemplary contribution for the humanity is highly appreciated. Again, thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time. Indeed, your expert lecture is opening the doors of new researches, and hopefully we and our students will do much better for the contribution of humanitarian. Again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir. Now, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. KVS Hari, IEEE Fellow, Vice President, Signal Processing Society, IEEE India, Professor IISc Bangalore, thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for accepting our invitation with great pleasure. And during the preparation of the program, you have motivated us a lot and appreciated our task. Honorable Sir, your exemplary research contribution in the signal processing and for whole society are highly appreciated, and we hope in future again you will give us your precious time for developing skills in us. Indeed, your guidance in future will be very crucial for us. Again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir. Further, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. J. Ram Kumar, Professor IIT Kanpur. Thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for accepting our invitation with the great zeal. You have given us your precious time from your busy schedule. Honorable Sir, we have got opportunity to listen you in the past also in some skill building programs. Your dedications are hard work for creating skills in the students and faculty members are highly appreciated. We hope in future again you will be ready to guide us in any other possibility. Again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir. Further, my profuse thanks and gratitude to Dr. Ashish Kumar Singh, Chairperson IEEE UP Section, Professor MNNIT Allahabad, for your gracious presence in the program for short time. Today, whatever our IEEE student branch is doing, it is due to your enormous motivation. From the beginning to till date, you are firmly stand with us because of our quality hard work and commitment in the right directions. Honorable Sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitation again. I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and deep gratitude to Dr. Satish Kumar Singh, Vice Chair IEEE UP Section, Professor IIIT Allahabad. Honorable Sir, we must say whatever we have achieved till now, it is due to your constructive guidance, motivation and encouragement. We hugely appreciate your efforts because we were new as a IEEE student branch and you worked with us as an active volunteer, and I acknowledge whatever positive reflections are looking in our team as well as in students. It is due to your vibrant motivation. Again, thank you so much, sir. Further, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Ritula Thakur, Professor and IEEE Chandigarh. Thank you so much, Honorable Ma'am, for accepting our invitation with the great pleasure and giving us your valuable time. Honorable Ma'am, I acknowledge your huge contributions for developing skills in students as well as faculty members. We can say that you are a role model of the many of the young women engineers. Indeed, in future, your contributions for our IEEE Women in Engineering Society will be highly appreciated if again you will accept our invitation. Thank you so much, Honorable Ma'am. Further, my profuse thanks and gratitude to Dr. Madhusudan Singh, Professor WSU South Korea, for accepting our invitation gladly. Honorable Sir, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. Indeed, your presence is great honor for us. Surely, we will invite you again for an expert lecture from your rich area of specialization, and we feel your expert lecture from your field will give new dimensions to our students and faculty members for achieving their goals, and also we can produce productive engineers to society. Honorable Sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. I take this opportunity to express sincere thanks and deep gratitude to Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, Honorable Director, BBDITM Lucknow, for his esteemed presence amongst us and for presiding over the event. Honorable Sir, without your constructive mentorship, guidance, we are unable to organize this kind of program. Thank you so much, Honorable Sir. Further, I would like to thank to respected HOD, Professor Rafiq Ahmed, for his able leadership, continuous and moral support. At last but not least, thanks IEEE BBDITM core team for organizing the event successfully, especially Professor Kanika Lamba, coordinator of the program, and student members, especially Srikant Singh, Shrek Khanna, Abdullah Ahmed, Shambhavi, Marut Nandan Tripathi, Divakar Tripathi, Shakshi Priyam, Avi Agrawal, Kirti Agrawal, Akhilesh Jaiswal, Aviral Das Srivastav, Jainendra Kishore, Akriti Kushwaha, Shreya Rai, Shashank, Neha Yadav, Ankit Parihar, etc. for your diligence to conduct today's program in the effective way. Again, thank you so much all. Anchor, it is over to you.
Thank you, sir. Participants requested to fill in the feedback form shared in the comment section. Our IEEE BBD ITM branch has its upcoming events on the 5th and the 6th of February. It's a kind request to all the participants and the members to show their keen interest to it as today. Now, with great pleasure, I kindly request our Honorable Director, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, to declare the today's event officially closed. Thank you.
I think Vice.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir, I organizing secretary, Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, I'm inviting you to speak a few words and with the closing ceremony.
Remarks.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, I thank you, Professor Khadim. That was just, beg pardon that emergency call came. But anyway, first of all, I was present throughout the program, and I really realized that the way it started off with the address of Professor J. Rajkumar from IIT Kanpur, the way he addressed and motivated the students, and particularly talking about what are the possibility, how they will be benefited, and as he talked about the innovation and in particular social innovation, I think that's quite meaningful. And then followed it with other talks like by Professor Satish Kumar sir, though it was brief, but then he also underlined the needs that how the students can benefit out of this exercise and why it is so meaningful. What are the different dimensions? Then address of Professor Ritul Kumar was also talking about the power engineering society and how the power system has changed over the time and what are the different new challenges that are coming up and why the interdisciplinary approach is required. It is not important only for electrical engineer, but computer engineer, all sorts of engineer. So that basically validates the interdisciplinary nature of IEEE as a largest technical society of the world and having involvement of all sorts of students from all different streams. And then followed by with the talk of Professor Hari sir, who also talked in particular about PES and what are the possibility in PES and why the PES means Power Engineering Society also with the name change is so much interdisciplinary in nature. And then it was really by Professor Ritula Thakur ma'am, who talked about smart grid and its possibility, innumerable possibilities which are there in the smart grid and why the smart grid is important. And then last, but of course, the most important and meaningful inspirational example and address by Professor Sir John D. MacDonald, who as a IEEE fellow, I think he talked about that webinar importance and he said that he will be sharing the link in which he has emphasized 12 points, which are really very important as an awareness level and which can give you an early head start to be a successful professional or as an engineer. So I think getting a tip from him, and since he said that over the time his involvement with IEEE and particularly as a volunteer, on which he really stressed and reinforced that you should volunteer for the leader positions rather than being a follower. You should take initiative in IEEE and of course influence the decision rather than accepting the decision, because I think that is a really significant contribution. Because if the most competent persons are there for the in leadership positions, then of course that really helps the complete team. So in that context, it was really a very wholesome program. I congratulate all the organizers of this program for having planned it so meticulously. And then, of course, I offer a sense of gratitude to all the honorable speakers who spared their valuable time understanding and underlining the theme of this event. And since it's a momentous event, we are inaugurating 3 societies. I really congratulate all the office bearers of these societies, as well as the members who are joining this society or who have joined this society. I'm sure they will take it as a challenge. They will understand the IEEE inside out and then use IEEE in a positive sense, and of course avail their vibrant personality and contribute through their personality in the IEEE for the purpose of humanity. So that's way I congratulate once again all the organizing team, and of course I'm sure they will take on this to a new height in time to come. Thank you, Professor Dr. Khadim Moin Siddiqui, for giving me this opportunity. Over to the anchor.
Sir, now kindly declare the event close. Honorable Director, sir.
Please, I think we can may ahead. I'm sure you must have taken feedback, and even the questioners, if there are any questions, you can take it through chat box before you conclude that.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. And again, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this international webinar. Thank you very much. And again, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this international webinar. Thank you very much. And again, I would like to
Okay, thank you so much, dear participants. It is our journey, and we have made in a single video. Now we can leave the platform. Thank you so much, all.